John, can I set you the challenge of having 5 minutes and just playing with a hypnotic thing for our audience,
Sure.
to sit back, enjoy, or do
Yeah, sure.
whatever?
Just remember, I don't do hypnosis. I only talk to people a little bit, you know? I mean, that's what I tell them anyway. You know, I do that regularly because otherwise they expect me to pull a watch out and swing it in front of their eyes. First of all, let me just identify the three things. There's only three steps to doing any, if you want a formal hypnosis thing. One is the induction, okay? Then there's the stuff in the middle, the meat in the middle, and then there's the outduction. Those are the three parts, okay? Not more complicated than that. So the induction just starts off with, giving a set of very simple instructions. Like if I were to say to you right now, you're sitting there, I don't know where you're sitting, but I know you're probably have a screen in front of you or something. Just go ahead and close your eyes anyway. Just close your eyes. And as you do that close your eyes thing, I want to ask you to do something specific. And it's something that we hadn't mentioned here, but I'm probably going to mention it another time down the road somewhere. But as you slowly start to go down deeper and deeper and deeper inside, which means to relax, you can feel the drop of gravity on a head as it goes blip, blip, blip. And that drop of gravity will continue to go on and melt down across the sides of your face, even the front of your face, the back of your head, down your neck. It'll go down along your shoulders and across your chest, and it'll continue to float down, that drop of gravity, and each one after that, down through your legs. So you start to relax even more. And you might even notice you're breathing a little more carefully, maybe a little more slowly. I don't know. Whichever makes you feel more comfortable. And if you take a look at something that's really specific for you right now, even though you don't know exactly what it is, I like to use an element that we call timelines. And if you put that right in front of you there, however you have a timeline, and the timeline means you've got a past, a present, and a future, but this makes it easy for me to do it probably in less than 5 minutes. And if I have you slowly mark a spot where the present moment is and ask you to slowly float above your timeline, if you take a look from that perspective and look down, you can see the full continuum of the past, the present, and the future. Now, you can do all kinds of things with your timelines, which is why I bring it up this way. If you were to slowly float along the full continuum of the past, you might start to notice a few things. Because even when you were born, before you were born, actually, you had to learn to breathe. You don't know that, do you? You do now. You had to learn to beat your heart. You had to learn to run your body's metabolism. And then one day, poof, there you were. You were born. And from that point, you learned to crawl. Then you learned to walk, run, hop, skip, jump. You went to school. You learned reading, writing, arithmetic, all of those things. You learned how to make decisions. You learned how to meet friends. You learned how to make enemies. You learned how to love. You learned how to hate. You see, most of the behaviors that we have, we've learned. Now, if you continue slowly floating across that past and get over to the present moments, you go past the present and you start taking a look at the future, you can do things, even though every time you are going to think something in your mind, you're only in the present moment when you're doing it. Because you see, time doesn't really exist. It only exists in terms of our mind and how we space things, where we place memories. Sometimes we place them one side, one time we place them in the other side. But the fact of the matter is, you see, we have memories of the past. We have memories for the future. Common denominator, memories. So you remember where you're going to be tomorrow. You could change that memory if you really wanted to. You could change it so you'll be someplace else. But that requires that you do that process of deciding at the present moment to make it a different event where you'd want to be. It's that simple. I'm not even asking you to do that particular activity at the moment. But you can slowly float across the future and you can start to see different activities that you have already planned. You can see what you're going to be doing this weekend. You can see what you're going to be doing the following weekend. Maybe Monday looks different than Wednesday. Maybe Wednesday looks different than Friday. I don't know. I leave that all up to you. But I want you to know how much easier it is once you're inside your mind that you can slowly begin to float back to the present moment and then slowly float back inside the timeline. Float inside of the present moment. But I want you to orient your timelines again just for this next moment or two or maybe three. Rotate it around so that the past is behind you now. Let it start from the back of your head, maybe an inch or two behind the back of your head. Keep the present inside your head and start the future right there in front of you, but pull it on back just a wee little bit so that the future just starts just behind your eyeballs. This is a good one because you see, when you're deciding things and you orient your timelines in this way, when you're acting in the present moment and you're looking straight into the future, it makes it much easier to take a look at the pros, the cons, the things that will benefit from you, the things that you'll benefit from each side of that equation, and then rotate the timeline back around in any way that's most useful and most appropriate for you, and feel the relaxation. I'm going to ask you to do the following thing. I'm going to ask you to slowly float up outside your body again. Keep the timeline exactly where it is. And then I'm going to ask you to slowly take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And as you do that, just think inside your mind and say, ah. You know, sometimes if you resonate just right, resonate a vibration that goes down your spine, it'll go right up to the base of your brain, and it'll tickle your brain actually, and you make really nice neurochemicals, which is one of the things hypnosis is about as well. It's so you can change your neurochemistry just enough so you can relax, or you can get excited. Either way, you know, hypnosis isn't just about doing something mild. Lots of times you can see people dancing in hypnotic states, and therefore they can increase their energy. They can increase this, they can increase that. So just remember, it's only about altered states and which one you want to be in, how, when, and where, and whose. That's the really important part. So just reorient, put your timeline back the way it's most useful and comfortable for you. And then I'm going to ask you to slowly come on back here and open your eyes. I'll even count back from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out through your mouth. And say, life is good. Life is wonderful. Because it really is. You have all the control you need over your own brain. Learn to use it really well. Learn to relax. Learn to do things you want to be able to do. This is only the beginning. It's not even the tip of the iceberg. It's the tip of the iceberg. So I want to thank you very much. Come on back, open your eyes. Take a look. Maybe the screen looks different. Who knows? Maybe you look different.
Thank you. Absolutely brilliant.